This is Marketing Access, a live chat on all things marketing trends, investor empowerment, and digital innovation. Marketing Access is hosted by myself, Kat Frick, and Avery Stone Street.
Hi, everyone.
We're marketers, investors, and entrepreneurs who have built our careers at the intersection of ETFs, digital marketing, and financial services.
We started this podcast to bring a different kind of perspective to an industry that can be a little stuck in its ways.
Breaking down industry jargon, sharing gatekept marketing strategies, and of course, building a community of empowered investors and marketers who get it. Here's this week's chat.
Phil Bach came out with a third post. It's kind of sad. Like, he was just talking about his broken AI agents.
Who is Phil Bach, by the way?
So years and years ago, he used to work at IZ, and then he broke off and tried to do a couple different ETF issuer ventures. He's an ideas man. They just didn't really work out, but he's an ideas man. So it's he's got way too many irons in the pot. He has a lot of interesting ideas, and he also wrote a piece about how there's no innovation in the ETF space, because if there is any, it's Vanguard or BlackRock will just come in and copy the idea, right, and come in at a lower expense ratio and is already available to everyone,
Well, Phil, I'm sorry about your AI agents.
Yeah, but he was saying he says look, they broke and now I just blinked and I'm already in the dust. And it's true. It's moving so fast.
What does he have them hooked up to?
So he pretty much created his own workflows, AI workflow. I'm not sure if he's using Zapier or what, but he's using Airtable for all of his data, right? So you have an Airtable API that it's calling from, right? Then you have it helping he has a bunch of prompts and other stuff doing for legal work, prospectuses or replying to comments or reviewing stuff like that. Then he has another one doing it's pretty much a robo-advisor. It just looks at alerts. It will alert you when certain things happen and when certain signals happen that you want to get notified for. It's almost like Google Alerts, but for the market.
So yeah, that's the thing with this AI era that we're in. It's a lot of wait and see, because the new AI thing will come out and it's okay, but does it really work, or is it hype? Or is it just something it's just in a beta testing scenario, but is actually being distributed out into the world on a large scale beta test, and it doesn't really fully work yet until people start using it and training it and seeing how it needs some kind of intervention to start enhancing itself. But these AI agents, yeah, they're going to break. This is the beta test for AI agents, right?
I mean, honestly, the truth of the matter, a lot of these things are going to break, right? Because what Phil was using, we're all using a bunch of different APIs from a bunch of different platforms, software, whatever, from our company, right? So whether it's Airtable, Morningstar, HubSpot, Google, right? You're pulling in all of that data into your agent's platform, right? Whether that be ChatGPT, something that you create personally, on your own back end. I think the other thing is that I recently heard that in addition to taking the same prompt and and positioning it to different models, right? Being oh yeah, well, Claude, and you could say this to ChatGPT, oh yeah, well, Claude gave me this input and said this. And almost posing them against each other will actually get better outcomes, because then us, we are competitive, right? And we want to do be the best. And so then you can get better outcomes. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm curious.
So funny.
I know, right?
What was the other one that you used to basically enhance the efficiency of chat? It was
the hallucinate one.
I can't remember what you were telling it. I can't remember. There's something because we were talking about how if you threaten chat with physical violence, it will perform better.
I think it was the hallucinate one. So if you tell it to if you feel you're getting these basic vanilla mundane responses, right? Especially if you're doing content generation, social media posts, or just I don't know, other marketing, I would say, ideas. And it's just start an ad campaign, and you're oh my gosh, of course. And obviously I'll be like, all right, I want you to hallucinate, like go crazy, and then give me some more ideas. And then it's worked. It's worked a couple times. I think just like us as humans, like we're constantly evolving, right? And it's constantly evolving. And like what worked yesterday is not going to work today. Like, you're giving it the same prompt over and over and over again. It's just like, it starts to like mail it in, maybe. Like it can anticipate it's coming. I don't know. Who knows, man? But I've told you this a long time ago and I forgot about it until recently, but like, we don't even know how ChatGPT is working anymore.
What do you mean?
ChatGPT was just in a lab, right? With like 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's only people who had access to it, right? So we knew that it was growing and learning more, right? And being capable of more based off of just what these 4 people were giving it. But now it's open to everyone. And like, we don't know what everyone's feeding it, right? Like, probably, Anthropic is tracking all that, but still, it's like too much to really track. So it's like, we don't, in the back end, it's growing and growing and growing, but like, we don't know what it's growing into or growing from, because we don't know, like, we don't have the capacity to understand what's being put into it. Like, AI is not getting smarter. It's only getting smarter the more we use it.
Right. Yeah. No, that goes back to the point around like the efficiency and productivity of like AI agents. Like, is it contingent on the more people using it, the more people asking it to do tasks and actually executing them well, and all the things, so we don't run into these breakdowns and crash outs of these AI agents. We'll see as time goes on and people start to use them more, that they become more efficient. And I think that's the whole point, right, of this generative world we're living in now.
This is my thought process on that, or like my take on that. Start interacting with any AI agents, but whatever the next, wave of AI tools is, start utilizing it right away. Know it's going to suck, but then like by the time like the good version comes out, you already know how to use it. So it's not like you have to like figure out like the user adoption from square one.
Yeah, I definitely need to work on that. I haven't touched any kind of AI agent. Okay, here's what I was looking into. I have not used it, but Centra AI.
Let me see.
That is what came up for me when I was kind of like started to get into like AI agents, and honestly like drowning in to-dos, where I was like, okay, how can I let someone else do this work? Because this is crazy to-do list. Yeah, they have these little cute little helpers.
They look like Labubus.
Little Labubu helper AI agents. But so she's your social media manager. Emmy is the email marketer. And Gigi is the personal coach. Well, thank God for Gigi.
I mean, I just was like, I think I would just rather get someone in the Philippines at this point.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on what you actually need to get done. So I was definitely interested in trying it out at some point, but I have not.
I don't know. Like for me, like I feel like the agents for this type of stuff, like responding to my emails and all of that, like that I'm willing to wait on.
Mm-hmm.
But like automating things like from like if I put a blog into like my Dropbox or Drive or like wherever, then it will then like take that piece of content and then create 4 LinkedIn posts, then do this, then do that. Like I'm fine with that. And like I think I can handle that stuff better. But I don't know. These are cute though.
Yeah, they are cute.
Okay, so let's talk about the big AI news that happened this week, or I guess in the last couple of weeks, really at this point.
So Claude for financial services, walk us through like what are they offering? How are they going to make our lives more simple in this space? What can marketers in financial services potentially use it for, currently use it for?
Right. Yeah, so I was super excited when this news came out from Anthropic about Claude now having a financial services arm. This is a paid only service. So it's not just like Claude AI where you can, anyone can kind of hop to. But that news came out and it was interesting because a week or so prior, I was at Bloomberg having a meeting with one of the marketing people there, and their terminal has come out with a couple AI tools, like add-ons and whatnot. And we were talking about how within financial services, there's no other AI that really has access to good quality data, right? That's timely as well. So we were having that conversation. Then literally a week later, Claude comes out with, their financial services arm and announces that not only that they have this LLM and also agent and like deep research tool for financial services and for asset managers, but they've also partnered with S&P, FactSet, Morningstar, and a few others. So like the data is all good, right? Mm-hmm. I instantly actually texted my friend and I was like, oh my gosh, like, did you see this? He's like, yeah, like people are freaking out over here. And I was like, yeah, I can imagine. So that's what they're claiming it does. The example that I saw, and I'm just trying to actually get my hands on a demo potentially. The case study example that they gave when they launched this product was that imagine there is like a huge spike, in a stock that like your company is tracking, that your PMs are tracking, and you're an analysis at that firm, and someone comes to you and is like, look, we need to know, like, is this spike like part of the new strategy that we're implementing, right? And like this is supposed to happen, or is this a rare spike that we need to sell into like now? Like we need to know before market close, and figuring all of that out through AI and then presenting it like within 30 minutes rather than having to do it more manually and having it taking like hours and hours and hours. So like that was the example. Obviously, it was in much more detail.
So Claude's now serving asset managers and has major data ship partnerships. Not with Bloomberg.
No, not with Bloomberg. Yeah, no, definitely not with Bloomberg. I mean, listen, I hear that Bloomberg's the best. So, obviously they don't think they're.
But they're still like gold standard data. So
exactly. So those are now available. And then to do a wide set of research and a financial analysis, and to literally make PM and all asset managers' jobs 10 times easier.
I guess realistically, the question is, how far off are we from, firms actually trusting AI to make a call like that before market close? In the example you gave,
Right. Like at the same time, are they still running that 4-hour manual analysis? I would think at least for the first couple times, for sure. But I also just think, at what point are these asset managers giving AI their edge? Like giving away the secret sauce?
There was a report by Deloitte that found that only 23% of asset managers currently trust AI to make unsupervised investment decisions, even when using high quality data sources. Honestly, I feel like that's high. 23%. I feel like that's still high.
There's a lot of elderly advisors still out there.
To trust AI completely to make unsupervised investment decisions. Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean,
actually, that's like a very aggressive, not quote, but angle. Like, to me, that's an absolute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you felt that.
I felt it in my bones for sure.
I felt it in my wires.
So for a typical marketing or strategy team at an asset manager, how would they use something like this? So this is like a PM tool or something broader.
For financial analysis, right? And that could be something, I mean, I don't know how complex it can get, right? But it's also in its early stages. And so the more people use it, the better it will get. And the interesting thing is people who are requesting demos, I was reading this on Reddit, and someone's like, they're only giving out demos to firms that are like need a minimum of 50 seats. I was like, honestly, that's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Because they need like rapid mass adoption so that this thing can get better faster.
That's right.
That's right. So anyways, I'm interested to see, I think a lot of the things that it can do in financial services, Honestly, it could easily be done in the regular Claude 4. We just need, like, you just need to like provide the data. Like if you just like you download the spreadsheets and upload them. So we shall see.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, ChatGPT's AI agent launch. It's so bad. I can't believe anyone's using it. And they're pushing it hard. Like every time I'm in ChatGPT, it's like, switch over to our agent, switch over to, I'm like, no. It takes 10 times as long to get any outcome. It's pretty much doing what it already did before. Just now it's less segmented, like it's all together, if that makes sense. But not impressed whatsoever. It's literally ChatGPT 4 slowed down times 100.
Yeah, you said took how many? It took 45 minutes to.
Oh my gosh, it took 45 minutes to put something into PowerPoint. So I had given it like screenshots from Claude's designed deck that it had done for me, but I wanted it in a PowerPoint file. I struggle with content layout in PowerPoints and like how to design the layout of the copy of a slide.
It's a huge gap. It's so crazy.
It's hard.
It's hard. Okay, go ahead.
You think it would be easy? It's not. So what I do is I put the content in there and then I say, design this PowerPoint deck, like design each slide. And I can give it a brand guide if I want. I usually don't. Now with ChatGPT AI agent, I was like, I can get a PowerPoint file. Like, let's go. So I already had the screenshots from Claude and I go to ChatGPT agent, which anyone can use as long as they have some sort of paid subscription to ChatGPT. I'm like, look, here are these screenshots. I want a deck. I also want it to be downloadable in PowerPoint. Put that together for me. So I just needed to put the slide images into a PowerPoint. 45 minutes. It's a lifetime.
And that is.
So anyways, honestly, like it would have just been faster. And like, it also like messed up a bunch of stuff. Like a bunch of the text was wrong.
What are you doing, chat agent?
I don't know, but that honestly like really bothered me. I was like, I haven't had this sort of error in at least 6 months.
Your employee is not performing.
Pretty much. But like, honestly, like when I first started using AI, I feel like everything was so flawed. I was like, oh my, like, what are you even talking about? Like, I asked for a recipe and you're giving me directions to like a bake shop.
So chat AI agent, not impressive.
Not impressive.
For now.
And then, within our own space, I think the takeaway here is financial services is finally on board with AI or Gen AI for sure. It will be interesting to see how quickly everyone adopts, either Claude Financial Services or their own version internally. But I think we can no longer ignore it.
Mm-hmm. So let's start big picture. When someone used to want information about investment strategies, they'd Google it, land on a blog post, maybe download a white paper. Walk me through what that journey looks like now in terms of the AI shift.
So now that we are in a place where AI adoption, especially with LLMs, is pretty much widespread, for the most part, everyone has used ChatGPT at this point. And with that means the buyer journey is now changing, whether it's for a financial product or something else. People are no longer, or depending on your generation, younger generations are no longer going to Google. They haven't been going there for a very long time. They're either after talking to their friends or seeing something on social media about a fund maybe they want to invest in. From there, they're doing their own research, mostly on ChatGPT. But that then looks like all the work that you're doing for SEO and maybe like rankings and making sure that you're appearing, top of search on Google now no longer applies. You now need to make sure instead that your website is bot friendly, meaning can LLMs, AI agents, whatever, go to your site and easily understand the who, what, where, when, and why. And so that when potential investors or current investors are doing their own research on ChatGPT and asking questions about XYZ ETF or blah, blah, blah asset manager, that you, the asset manager, are then coming up through ChatGPT.
I think what we're seeing is a fundamental shift in how people discover and consume financial content. So people aren't Googling, for example, best retirement planning strategies anymore. They're asking Claude or ChatGPT.
I think the younger generations are doing that. The older generations are still asking Google, but then they're getting the AIO summaries. So the AI summaries, that are at the top of your search.
Well, I know what you're talking about. So it's like when you're typing in something like Google search bar, but then the summary pops up that's like AI generated.
Always.
And that's like
they started doing that because they were worried that everyone's going to chat. Here's your summarized answer. You don't have to go look and read everything. So people are just reading those and then hopping off.
Yeah. Okay. If AI agents are like helping investors like evaluate products, what kind of information do issuers or asset managers need to have clearly available to bots?
Right. Yeah. So I think, very basic, like who, what, where, when, why, how, in very basic layman terms, like no financial jargon, or like at least as like, minimize that as much as possible. Right. I think also having an FAQ page, right? Because probably a lot of the questions and things that people are going to be searching are probably going to be questions that you could easily put on your FAQ website page, like make the bot's job easier. I think it's another way of kind of like putting it out there. So I think that's something. And then, definitely looking like at the investor's journey. What does that now look like? How has that changed from Googling and then going to the fund website versus now maybe just searching in, some LLM and then, I don't know, going to your broker, right? Like, are you going to the website anymore?
Right. No, I think you also, just going back for a second, made a good point about the FAQ pages. I think that's just like a good quick takeaway, just for marketers in this industry, like kind of the return of boring but useful content. But that's going to be one of the easiest steps to start being kind of like available to these AI agents when they're doing research, or maybe even create a new public facing layer, just for the bots.
Yeah.
And it's suddenly critical for AI discovery and maybe
like the evolution of bot content, I guess, or like the emergence of bot content.
Right, that AI optimized content. Are we saying AI optimized, or are we saying like bot optimized content?
I probably would, honestly, like AI is just like saying, like, AI is the same thing as saying like asset management. It's like, okay, what is it? Like, right, like there's so many different asset managers. Like you could have so many different services and products and whatnot. So I would say bots. But then I was also thinking, it's so funny is, and obviously this is still the case because we don't want these kinds of bots, but like how we have roadblocks, right, for bots now. We like don't want bots getting into like a website, where it's like click all the images that have a car in it.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about that. We are focusing now more on LLM traffic and agentic traffic to your site over humans, so that when humans are searching for your products in LLMs, or even if they go to Google and get the AIO, the AI summary at the top of like your search, that you are going to be relevant and that you are going to pop up, because right now you can't pay to pop up, to pop off. Sorry. I know OpenAI is talking about advertising, which in the sense would then mean also for like sponsored content. But anyway, so we are now in the shift of, don't just create a bunch of content, right? And educational content and thought leadership and opinionated, et cetera, et cetera. It is now create basic content that bots can easily either click through or find or read on your site and know like instantly like who, what, where, when, why. Like it cannot be all this crazy like financial jargon content and like behind a paywall.
the LLMs are not going to be able to pull any information from that.
Right. And when we talk about like AI agents, becoming like doers, and they potentially like fill out forms on websites, book
yes, that
videos,
is or features that is in the new feature of
what
both the AI agent with ChatGPT and Claude Financial Services, is that now the bots not only can read websites, but they can interact. So they can click buttons, they can fill out like logins, right? Like they can book your travel, quote unquote. So they could like fill out like, the forms like you were talking about. So that is a great advancement for sure.
I guess I'm just thinking through from an investor standpoint. We've talked about social media's role in research for retail investors.
Yeah.
And now kind of like thinking through how investors are doing research through AI channels. We kind of started getting on this like stream of consciousness about, is ChatGPT going to replace TikTok in a way? Or is social media going to stand the test of time with the next generation of investors? The point being like, we're seeing the next time someone is interested in even like some kind of token that comes out, you're going to ChatGPT first to ask, what is this? Should I invest? I think the reliance on AI to do that initial research for retail investors is going to start to go up significantly.
Because it tells you an answer, right? And ChatGPT is like, here's a summary of an answer. And you're like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there is something, I think, to be said about the education you can get on social media, and brands should remain on social media and continue social media strategies like that. That shouldn't go anywhere. But just in your purview, kind of thinking about the fact that ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, like these LLMs, they're going to be the ones that are feeding investors information and how to capitalize on that and how to really enhance your like different marketing strategies to be able to accommodate for something like that.
Exactly. And I think the last little tip or like tidbit of 100% start feeding your LLM with information about like your company and your services like now.
Do asset managers risk becoming invisible if they don't evolve how their content is being structured for this kind of new AI as a distribution channel? When you're saying distribution channel, AI is that channel. You are writing content for AI. From a content generation perspective, there needs to be a content that you produce that is just for AI and writing to cater to AI.
Yeah.
Do you think marketers will need to adopt more technical content strategies to stay relevant?
It depends on so many different things. Like if they're not getting any PR, if like they're not on social, like if they don't have a big social following, like also like email, or like what if they just advertise? Like OpenAI has said that they'll do advertising soon. So I think it depends like on all of those things. Like, right, like if they just stuck to advertising and just move their advertising over to OpenAI, like would that suffice? You know?
But I guess it's an interesting.
What do you think?
I mean, seeing this develop so quickly, where
it's going so fast.
AI is a new way to distribute your content, compete for brand awareness. It's a new platform in a way for marketing, and how we need to kind of like rethink SEO. You're going to have to start looking at your overall strategy to say, okay, where does discoverability on one of these models fit in? What does it mean to optimize content for LLMs? It's something to keep an eye on. And I really think the FAQ page is something that you can get started on.
Yeah. If you're hearing this and you're, concerned and don't know where to start, I think number one, like make sure that like your plumbing of your site is set up right. Meaning like you have a sitemap, the user experience is easy. Your site is being indexed. It is there when people are searching it, whether it is on Google or on an LLM.
So start there. And then from there, I would just start creating more bot-friendly content, making sure that you have like the basic who, what, where, when questions on the site, maybe removing some gate-kept content, that maybe it would be helpful for bots to pull. So yeah, I think it's a very interesting time. It's especially for us. I feel for everyone in asset management, marketing is hard in general, and it just AI is pulling the rug, so to speak, under our feet pretty fast. So this is where I think, honestly, the smaller guys again can win now. But if the smaller guys do not jump now, the large guys who are getting all their ducks in a row to have the most amazing AI workforce and workflow, once they do catch up, they'll blow you out of the water again.
That speaks to this idea of educating yourself on how to, if you are a marketer in the financial services space, you need to start educating yourself on AI tools, how to integrate it into your strategy, how to optimize, work processes, your different workflows. Because that question that came through about being a digital marketer in this AI era. And the thought is still if you can educate yourself, you stay ahead of the curve on AI, your job's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So just that point of the chance for the smaller guys to, get ahead now, that is really the takeaway here. It's, the rules of content discovery are changing way faster than you and I could even fathom. And the firms, whether you're large or small, that adopt and adapt their content strategy now, starting with, the FAQ page that we mentioned earlier, those are the ones who are really going to have an advantage, right? And if you're hearing all of this and you're like, I have no idea what these ladies are talking about, we are definitely here to help. That's honestly why we created Marketing Access. So please feel free, to reach out and ask any questions. Again, Avery and I are here to help. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.